I was today years old when I realized some people don't actually want an answer. They want you to give them the answer they're hoping for. My brother is married to Haley, and they're expecting a baby. Last year, I officially changed my first name from Evelyn to Indy, which came from a nickname based on my original middle name. My parents eventually accepted it after realizing I was serious and that I simply never connected with Evelyn. My brother and Haley want an older vintage name for their baby, and about 5 months ago, Haley asked me why I disliked Evelyn enough to change it. She mentioned how popular vintage names had become and how they're apparently back in style. I told her I just don't like old-fashioned names. To me, they sound outdated. I also explained that popularity had nothing to do with why I changed my name. She wanted to know why I preferred something like Indy instead, and I didn't mind answering her the first time. But a week later, she asked again, then a third time, then a fourth. Every time I gave her exactly the same answer and eventually asked why she kept bringing it up. I told her my answer wasn't going to change. By the 7th time, she finally explained why she was so obsessed with the question. She was worried her baby might grow up and hate having an old-fashioned name, and she wanted to understand what had happened with me so she could prevent the same thing from happening to her child. She even told me she wished I'd reconsider my own name because she thought Evelyn was beautiful and was sad I'd chosen something like Indy instead. I'd already asked her several times to stop. I even asked my brother to step in, but he told me I needed to understand that she was pregnant and her hormones were making her emotional. At this point, I can honestly say she's asked me the same question more than 25 times. I'm not exaggerating. Then 2 weeks ago, she brought it up again. She said she thought I'd made a mistake changing my name and that maybe 30-year-old me wouldn't feel so strongly about leaving Evelyn behind. I told her that if 30-year-old me ever regretted it, I'd deal with that myself. Then she told me I didn't really have a good reason for liking Indy and that it sounded like the kind of name someone young might like, but not necessarily an adult. And yesterday, I finally lost my patience. She started asking the same questions again. The baby is almost due, so I knew this would probably be the last time she could keep dragging the conversation out. She begged me to really think about it and help her because she couldn't figure out what she could do differently from my parents. Then she said my parents probably shouldn't have let me change my name so young. That's when I snapped. I told her to stop asking me the same question because my answer wasn't going to change, and neither were her opinions going to make me change my mind. I told her plainly that I don't like old-fashioned names. I think they're awful, and I was exhausted from constantly hearing how much better they supposedly were, while she kept trying to force me to find a reason she considered acceptable. Finally, I told her, just like you hate Indy, I hate Evelyn. You need to let it go. She immediately burst into tears. My brother got furious with me, and even my parents asked why I had to speak to her so harshly. But after being asked the same question more than 25 times, I honestly didn't know how else to make her understand that I don't need a reason she approves of to like my own name.